Love It All. Like you think of somebody and how those things take hits by perception. Like you think of somebody like Diddy now. You know, like we grew up, like Diddy was a part of the fabric of all of our music, you know? And so now it's also too, man, it brings back up the separation of person and artist.
100%.
Right? Because it's, you know, whether it's R. Kelly or
Michael.
Michael
Jackson.
And it's like, how do you separate those things? And now Diddy is in a situation, and like I don't know if you guys have read the affidavit in the civil suit with Cassie, but like even me as an adult man reading some of those things, it's, to me,
disturbing.
And like to me, bottom line, and this is just me, like what I'm about to say, it don't have to be associated with Fred, doesn't have to be associated with Channing, doesn't have to be associated with The Pivot, like this is Ryan Clark. Bottom line, period, bro, you beat or rape a woman, like your ass deserves to be in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yes.
Like I don't care if, I don't care if it's 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line. I got 2 babies, bro. I got 2 girls. And period, point blank, you rape or you beat a woman, your ass deserves to go to jail. And I feel like when you're in jail, they should put you in a special part where that's your life.
Yep.
You know, and so.
A lot of showers every day.
Yeah, and so like that's my thought on that. But then you read the rest of it, and now you start to see though, for Diddy, bro, I feel like it's every day there's a new story, there's a new accusation, there's a new allegation. Just recently, he finally broke his silence, and he's saying that he didn't do any of the things that he's being accused of, which to me brings into question, when you say any, Cassie's case is a part of that, which is now settled. And if you listen to it, the way she filed the suit, it did bring in all of the businesses as well. Right. So it wasn't just Diddy's decision to settle. But so you're saying that what happened with Cassie didn't happen, and then now you're seeing things, and I want to get this lady's name right, Fred, so make sure I do, Kim Porter, who he, you know, has children with as well. And like all of these like cryptic things by the Kimora Lee Simmonses and all these people being put out, like, you know, truth will come to light and eventually karma comes around. And so it's seeming like he had been at least thought of in these ways. When you look at that situation, Fred, what do you feel about it?
It's a lot to unpack, but simply put, as you said, if you wronged any of these people that are bringing forth these claims, you deserve what you deserve. And that's whether that's, you know, losing business opportunities or being in jail. And that's just that. One of my questions was, you know, the statutes of limitation. I think it was brilliant by whoever the lawmakers in the state of New York when they created the Survivors Act and they actually put a deadline on it. It gave people who typically wouldn't come forward an opportunity to be brave and kind of bring their cases forward. It also created opportunities for their court systems to also monetize, which is just part of it. I have a daughter, you know, so I have responsibility to feel a certain type of way if someone were to have treated her that way. You do, and you do too, and anyone else that's out there. For a while, a part of me felt like there should be a statute of limitations, but I also, because of my daughter and really thinking about it, it's like, hell no. Like, I don't care at what point you wrong my daughter. If she has a voice or whenever she develops courage to speak on it, I think it should be listened to, examined, and you should accept whatever punishment that comes forward. So if these things did happen, shit, we burn in hell, you know, but if they didn't, and if people are just making false accusations in some of these claims, which now everybody's out there, you know, then I don't think that part of it is right. But I just think Diddy is now speaking because that window closed. You know, it expired a week or two ago, what have you. So I think from a timing standpoint, and he now coming out to speak, a lot of other people aren't going to bring forth those type of claims because that window is.
Well, I don't think now it's so much about the claims as much as it's just about, because of social media, because of the advent of podcasts, you can say whatever you want, right? And those things, like, go back to Will Smith. Like, once the stuff started to come out with Jada, and Jada was beating down on him, now people are listening to anybody. The security guard comes out, it says Will was having sex with Dwayne Martin. And because you start to believe someone is suspect, or you believe, or you hear that a certain thing happens, now everybody's, if I was just sitting here today and I was like, shit, Diddy tried me one time, right? People would at least give it credence, and I ain't never met the man. Right? You do have to start to, unfortunately, you do have to start to weigh every following allegation, every following story, every following conversation with the understanding that he's an easy target to hit right now because of what we at least perceive to be true in the settled case, in the settled civil case with Cassie. Now it's like, okay, but then like you start piecing things together, you know, like Alex Fine, who is Cassie's husband, you know, runs in like this 50-mile or something domestic violence thing, and you're sitting around and you're like, well, why is he running in domestic violence races? Why is Cassie there at the finish line crying? And whether those things are connected or not, the human mind is, now that makes sense. Right.
Innocent until proven guilty. That's legal.
Right.
The statute of limitations, that's legal. That's in the courts.
Right.
We're the judge, jury, and prosecution in our minds. So what's going to happen to Diddy? We're supposed to let the case play out, but now we can't see the case. We can't get the proof. We can't get that. So now it really almost leaves us to getting our own devices. And I say it all the time. This was my thing with R. Kelly, when the statements start coming out back to back to back, other people. If you're in one drive-by shooting, you were just a bystander.
Right.
If you're in 12 drive-by shootings, there's some decision you're making in your life that's making you be in those situations. Right. And that would be my thing, is all these things come out, to your point, with Diddy being now an easy target, to that side of it. Now, anybody come out and say whatever he wants about him, and now Jada's talking about Will, now people say stuff about Will, and you kind of think about it because you're like, oh, it's two people saying something about Will now.
Correct.
But if you're around that shit too much, I think something's wrong with you. Why are all these people coming out and saying it? So the court system can have all their rules they want to. I'm gonna look at the situation and I'm gonna figure out what I have in my mind. And I'm with you, RC. If anything can be proven about touching a woman or molesting a woman, anything like that, kids too, anything, any advantage you're taking over another person, hell, men too.
Yep.
If you're taking advantage physically of another living thing, your ass should be in a Saw movie with some of that crazy shit the little man on the bike did. Like, I want you to really suffer. I don't want you to sit in the cell and eat no commissary. But the problem is that the legal side, you can always take that side as a criminal. You can always take that side, get a good attorney. We've seen it in the past, Johnny Cochran's. You can get them and say, legally, I'm free. O.J. Simpson ass running around TikToking now. So you can do that legally, but to your point about the public opinion, oh yeah, Diddy will never be the same. Rich people get attorneys and great publicists. That's what rich people do when they get in trouble.
Well, I think like the other piece of it too that stands out to me is like I try to be the best I can be to look at it the outside perspective and be fair. You know, I believe that everybody should have the right to tell their story. And I think the intention of the law was for those people who in that moment didn't feel the strength or didn't feel like they'd be supported if they brought these allegations against some of these very powerful people in some of these cases, that now they may be in a place in their life where they can, right? And you want to give them the ability to do that. And I think on the other side of it too is you also wonder, is in 100% of these people guilty of what they're being accused of after the fact now? And those are things we don't get to know. And so I think that's the the very hard part about, so what's proven is proven, and so I think that's but what I will say is this.
What do we do with that information though?
Yeah, I think most of it's not our information to do anything with. You know, it's definitely not our information to persecute Sean Combs for, or Diddy for. But it is, to me, our information to 100% be able to say, if you are guilty of raping or assaulting a woman, your ass should be in jail.
Right.
You should be punished for it, period. I don't think that's hard to say. I don't think that's a controversial stance to take.